power. That is the hand. Driver power.
Union power.
Union power.
Driver power.
Driver power.
Union power.
Driver power.
Union power.
No more tax.
On driver's back.
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 Driver power.
Union power.
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 Union power.
Driver power.
No more tax.
On driver's back.
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 Why don't we do one with
Stop the suicide charge! 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 Stop the suicide charge!
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can! 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 Yes, we can!
Do you need speakers to stand here? Okay.
Driver power.
Union power!
Driver power.
Union power!
Union
I
power.
know.
Driver power!
I know. And it's an international problem. The same stupid policies are local. They didn't think this stuff up themselves. I realize that. They're all on the same page. So I advise you.
I'm going to start here. Why don't you lead off? Just give me
I
a
like
chance
to
to
pick cars.
speak.
It's nice. Not here.
I'll introduce Lou Riccio.
I used to have to bike. Anyway, it's a long story, but I did the
Okay. Hi, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Baidevi Desai. I'm the executive director of the New York Taxi Workers Alliance. We're gathered here today outside of New York State Court as we begin to go into a hearing regarding congestion pricing on taxis and FHVs. As you know, while Albany in 2018 discussed passing a comprehensive congestion pricing plan, which would have included private cars and trucks, in the final hours, the surcharge was passed only on yellow cabs and for hire vehicles, including Uber, Lyft, green cabs, and as well as liveries and traditional black cars. And in the final hours of those final days, the surcharge was amended, where basically the app companies were able to get themselves a concession. While there is a $2.50 surcharge for all yellow cab trips 96th Street and below, whether you pick up, drop off, or you're just passing through the zone. So if you're going from Brooklyn into the Bronx and you pass the FDR, the meter will click an extra $2.50. Not one penny of that will go to the drivers who've been struggling with massive bankruptcies, foreclosures, evictions. And since 2017 November, in 12-month period, we've had suicides by 8 drivers. We have never seen this level of crisis for drivers before in the modern history of this industry. And just as the city council and the mayor acted to make changes that would allow this industry to finally stabilize, we are now facing this death blow, a knife in our backs from Albany. We need that to be removed so people can breathe and people can literally live. That's what it has come down to at this moment. We don't want to see any more suicides. We don't want any more bankruptcies. We need our governor and our state legislator to show us some mercy. This surcharge needs to be removed. Yellow cabs and green cabs must be exempt from this surcharge. This lawsuit was filed by the taxi industry. Some of the plaintiffs are both taxi garages as well as individual owner drivers. As Taxi Workers Alliance, as a labor organization that represents the drivers across this industry, we stand in full solidarity with all of the plaintiffs in this lawsuit. We have been mobilizing for this exemption. We know that the Taxi and Limousine Commission refused to pass the regulations that would have given them authority to enforce congestion pricing. That alone should say something to Albany when the local regulator actually, risked a major political and legal backlash from the state, took a position of conscience to say that they would not vote on these rules. The lawsuit was filed because Albany, even after 8 suicides, did not hear our pleas. And you should know that last March, while we stood on the steps of City Hall with 4 coffins before us, because one of our brothers, Nicanor Ochesor, had just become the 4th driver to commit suicide. On the day when we were mourning our fallen brothers, Albany was basically making a plan to bury all of us. It's not acceptable. It's unconscionable. We hope that the decision of the state court sends a resounding message to our legislators that something is deeply wrong and we need a political fix. So I would now like to turn this over to others at this press conference. I would like to first call upon our honorable city councilman, Ydanis Rodriguez, who's come here to stand in solidarity with us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you. Look, the message is loud and clear. Governor Cuomo, your father used to be one of the best friends of the yellow taxi industry. The yellow taxi industry is composed by 15,000 medallion owners. 6,000 of them are individual owners who have been using the value of the medallion to get a mortgage to buy a house, to get a value, to get a loan to send the kid to college. They have become our middle class, but the middle class is disappearing today. They are committing suicide because they cannot handle it anymore. The yellow taxi are the icon of New York City. That's one of the first identification that we have. They've been used in movies. They've been used worldwide. There's none in New York City with our yellow taxi industry. And today, instead of going with this surcharge, what we should do is to give a forgiveness to those, especially 6,000 individual medallion owners who are struggling to survive. Yes, I believe that congestion price overall is a good idea, but not to target on the yellow taxi and the green taxi industry. They should be exempt right now. We should find another way of how to address congestion prices So as a chairman of the Transportation Committee, I will be working with the chairman of the Taxi Committee, Councilmember Diaz, to be sure that the men and women in the yellow taxi industry get all the support they need from the City Council. We are standing with them because they are our New York City. And today, I'm ready to continue fighting with them. We need to be sure that the yellow taxi industry will survive. They are New York City. There is not a New York City without the yellow taxi industry, and especially those 6,000 individual medallion owners. Hoy nosotros estamos aquí porque tenemos que salvar la industria del taxi amarillo. Ellos son Nueva York, ellos son el rostro nuestro. Los taxis se identifican en la película a nivel del país y del mundo entero. Hoy venimos a decir no al surcharge que se le quiere aplicar a los taxis verdes y a los taxis amarillos. I used to be a taxi driver, not necessarily a yellow one, but I drove a livery taxi. I was to be a 112 a Bailey car service. So I know what it is to be behind the wheel, to make some hours, get some money to support myself and to support the family. So as a former taxi driver industry, not necessarily as a council member, I'm speaking here loud and clear. We will do whatever it is in our power to stop the surcharge, to join the lawsuit, to be sure that they know that those individual medallion owners and the whole yellow taxi industry are not there by themselves. Thank you.
Yes. Drivers' backs.
No
more tax on drivers' backs.
No more tax on drivers' backs. No more tax on drivers' backs. No more tax on drivers' backs. No more tax on drivers' backs. No more tax on drivers' backs.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So the next speaker will be excuse me, former DOT Commissioner Lou Riccio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. As a former New York City Transportation Commissioner and former MTA board member here, I'm here in full support of this court case to get rid of the foolish charge on yellow taxis, because this will weaken, not strengthen, our transportation systems here. The charge on yellows will weaken their ability to compete. The for-hire vehicles are taking rides away from the MTA, clogging the streets, causing unbelievable high levels of traffic congestion. What we need to do is charge the for-hire vehicles the equivalent to what the cabs have to pay so that we can raise money for the MTA, but we need to support the yellow system. The yellow system is already congestion priced. They've paid to operate in Manhattan. They pay a medallion fee and $15,000 a year. Their annual medallion renewal fee is 4 times what Uber pays to operate in New York City. We need to have a better balance. We have been overwhelmed by 100,000 for-hire vehicles causing traffic congestion, taking rides away from the MTA. The state legislature should be smart, take this fee away from the yellows, add more fees on the for-hire vehicles to raise money for the MTA, and have the strength to do the right thing for our transportation systems. Thank you.
Okay, let me go.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Richard Lipsky. I represent the medallion owners that are here today. I just want to say, first of all, this is a classic collaboration. The Taxi Workers Alliance and medallion owners have not always been on the same page. We've had our differences in the past, but in a time of crisis like this, differences have to be thrown aside, and strength and unity must be achieved, and that's what we have here today. This congestion surcharge is a classic case of punishing the victim. The yellow taxi and green taxis have been victimized by the city's failure to properly regulate the for-hire vehicle sector, allowing them to proliferate unchecked, unregulated into the system without paying the same fees that yellows and greens have. And now, because they've proliferated, we have huge congestion costing the city $20 billion a year in lost business. And now they want to blame taxis. And the city created a cap on taxis in 1937, and it's been held up since. We didn't create this new congestion, but we're being punished for it. It's got to stop. The legislature has to go back to the drawing board, create a congestion pricing system that affects everyone, delivery trucks, passenger cars, not only people who are earning a living and are struggling like they are today. And I'd like to introduce one of our medallion owners, Nikolai Hent, whose best friend committed suicide last spring, and he is one of the plaintiffs in our lawsuit. It's Richard Lipsky, L-I-P-S-K-Y.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, media, for being here. My first praise will be, we pay for the exclusive rights to be in the central business district. What they are trying to do, they are trying to suck my blood now. They are trying to take my organs. They are trying to make me work only for the government. Once I pay to be in the central business district, what do you want from me? As people like me give you like as much as $1 million. What else do you want? Right now, I have a paper here which I provided to the judge. Right now, MTA tax, 2,437. Improvement, 1,467. Tolls, 2,327 plus 938, which I pay without the passenger. Renewal license, 951 a year. Inspection, Department of Financing, 1,000 a year. Total is 9,120 only for New York City. How much more do you want? Beside that, credit card. Credit card fee, I pay 3,300 a year. That's come 4.66% of my income. The total which I pay is 12,420. That's more than 13% of my income and gross income. Beside that, after that, I have a mortgage, 18,000 a year. Insurance, gas, repair, maintenance, phone, legal expenses, car depreciation, health insurance, IRS. And after that comes city tax, state tax, if I'll get to that amount. Guys, would you please explain to the people, don't mention competition. How can I compete with Uber, which they pay $270 a year? How can I? I have to pay the money which I borrow from the bank to pay for the exclusive rights. Now you want more from me? What? Take my heart, take my organ and sell it. God damn it.
Why do we want justice? Why do we want justice? Why do we want it now? Why do we want justice?
Please explain to the people. You cannot compete with somebody with free license when I have to pay so much money. How can I? It's just like you give somebody an apartment for free property tax, and they have others has to pay property tax. Come on, guys, don't mention competition. It's a robbery. I have been robbed by the city of New York. I have been robbed, completely robbed, by the governor Cuomo, which is supposed to be in the same place with Rick Skello, with Silver, with his longtime advisor, Procopo. He was involved in all the
Why do we want justice? 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 Why do we want justice?
Thanks,
Why do we want it? Justice.
Thank you, brother. Yeah, okay. I I just wanted to introduce, I just wanted to say that also one of the other plaintiffs here today is our brother Richard Chow. Richard is also the brother of Kenny Chow, who is one of the 8 driver brothers that we lost to suicide. He himself is also an owner driver, just as Kenny was. I would like to introduce, yeah. Oh, you wanted to say something?
No.
If you want to, go ahead.
I have a same, I can read the same.
It's okay.
It's okay, right?
Yeah. Okay, I would like, go ahead.
My name is Richard Chow. So I immigrated from Burma to 1987, now called Myanmar. So I bought a medallion in 2006. So after that, I have a good, make money and good living. And then I have a make an American dream. In a few years later, my brother, Kenny Chow, he also bought the medallion. He saw that I make good investment, what he thought. In everything's changed 2015. So unregulated, the HFV allowed it in the New York City, and then not like unregulated, and then not the same like pay like taxi fees and follows. This is chaos, this industry. So the people said they cannot make enough money. So because of the unregulated competition from the Uber, Lyft, and the other HFV. So that's why my brother, dear brother, Kenny, he lost his all hopes and then committed suicide. So today I struggling and devastated of my brother loss. Now I just know how he felt. Many days I feel the same. Now the charge with the congestion price to the taxi yellow medallion. So this is unfair, discriminatory to the. So if they charge a congestion price to the exempt taxi, if they're not exempt the taxi, so be nailed the coffin of 6,000 immigrant medallion owner like myself. If not go away this congestion price, more of us surely die. Thank you.
Sir, what was your first name? First name?
Richard Chow.
Yes. I think the final speaker before we have to go inside is going to be Jean Ryan, Disability in Action and Taxis for All campaign, who have also, similar to the Taxi Workers Alliance, have provided affidavits and support in this lawsuit. Again, I just wanted to reiterate, yellow cabs have been paying a 50-cent tax since 2009. Yellow cab lease drivers, okay, a lease driver who goes to a garage to rent the car in the medallion pays a sales tax, out of which a certain percentage also goes back to the MTA. The yellow cab and green cab industry have combined to contribute over $1 billion to the MTA already through the years. And any more loss of income would absolutely destroy thousands of people's lives. So, Jean is here, so I'd like to turn it over to her. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jean Ryan. I'm from Disabled in Action. and Taxis for All campaign. Taxis for All campaign has been working for 23 years to get accessible cabs in New York City. We need accessible cabs to get around. We depend on them now that we have them. And anything that will stop us from getting around the city, we're against. So we want accessible cabs to stay here. We need accessible cabs. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. One of the other plaintiffs.
Decision today?
No, I mean the decision could come today on the TRO, or usually it comes a day or two after. So that's what we expect. I think Gloria. Yes, is also one of the plaintiffs and would like to say a few words.
Thank you.
Are you a medallion owner?
Yes, I'm a co-owner with my husband.
Union power! Union power! Union power!
Go ahead, sister.
Should I start or? Now I could?
Yeah.
Good morning. Congestion pricing. It's the final nail on a coffin. We already pay a congestion price because what nobody realized, every time anybody's in trouble, they target the yellow industry. Right now, we pay 50 cents for over 5 years to the MTA. Where is that money? Where is it? We've been paying it. We cannot afford any more fees. We had to pay over $1 million to entry into this business. Uber and the app companies pay zero to enter. We already pay the money, the congestion price, we already paid it to the city of New York to run our wheels in the street. That congestion pricing is a scam. New York City is a scam. Cuomo is a scam. And Michael Bloomberg, you got your wish. You destroyed us, the little people. You did not destroy John Friedman. You destroyed me. My husband and I's hardworking, and all these men and women out here. You don't care. You have money. We are struggling. We just wanted a little piece of the Big Apple, and you destroyed it.
Can you give us your name, please?
Gloria Guerra. And Guerra. I am a medallion owner, and the city of New York has scammed me. It's like an organized communist. Little Neck.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I think we're gonna head inside now. Thank you. Okay, guys, I think we should go inside.
All right, I got mine out. Okay. I know.
Driver power! Driver power! No more suicide! 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 Show your face. The city, the people, to the governor. The peers, it is so. You are more